Namaste everyone, welcome to Millionaire GRE. I am Punit. This is the 8th video on statistics. If you have not watched the previous parts, please go through it before continuing with this video. In this video, we're discussing the concept of normal distribution. But before we talk about normal distribution, let me give you some real life statistics. This is the distribution of ACT scores. You would notice something that maximum people have scored 21 or around 21. As you move away from this value of 21, the frequency drops or number of students drop. Okay, and if you were to draw a graph, you will get a bell-shaped curve or approximately a bell-shaped curve. Okay, here 21 is approximately the average. Maximum students have scored the average score, and as you move away from the average, the frequency decreases or the number of students decreases. Similarly, in this example also, this is a distribution of newborn weights. Here also, maximum babies have weight which is the average weight of 7.5. As you move away from the average, the frequency decreases and you get a bell-shaped curve. Similarly, in this example, you again get a bell-shaped curve. So many examples in nature, many things in nature are normally distributed. Okay, you will get a bell-shaped curve. Now let's talk about normal distribution. Normal distribution is a specific type of distribution in which you get a bell-shaped curve and the graph is absolutely symmetrical. It's exactly symmetrical. Here the values may not have been exactly symmetrical, but in normal distribution the graph is symmetrical. Here M is mean as well as the median and D is standard deviation. Below mean there are 50% of all the values, above mean there are 50% of all the values, and the graph is symmetrical on both sides. And these are the percent values you have to remember. Between M and M plus D, there will be exactly 34% of all the terms. Between mean plus 1 standard deviation and mean plus 2 standard deviation, there will exactly be 14% of all the terms. Similarly, beyond mean plus 2 standard deviation, there will exactly be 2% of all the terms. Same applies to the left of mean. Okay, the graph is exactly symmetrical. You have to remember the three values, 2, 14 and 34. Okay, few more things. Now below mean there are 50% of all the terms. So mean is at 50th percentile because 50% is below mean. M minus D is at 16th percentile because 16% of all the terms are below M minus D. M minus 2D is at 2nd percentile. M plus D is at 84th percentile because 84% of the terms are below M plus D. M plus 2D is at 98th percentile. Now let's further solidify the concept of normal distribution through a practice question. I want you to pause the screen and give this question a try. Hope you have done so. Now let's solve it together. This is the graph for normal distribution. And note one thing. You can only apply the concept of normal distribution, or you can only assume that the terms are normally distributed if the question explicitly mentions the term normal distribution or normally distributed. If the question does not state this, you can never assume that the terms are normally distributed. For the terms to be normally distributed, the phrase normally distributed or normal distribution or the terms are in normal distribution have to be specified. Otherwise, you cannot assume that the values are normally distributed. Okay. Here, heights of people are normally distributed with a mean height of 175. So mean here is 175 and standard deviation is 5. So this M is 175. M plus D 175 plus 5, 180. 185. This is 170. 165. If there are 2 million people in Westeros, approximately how many of them hide between 165 and 180? Now if we add the percentages, 14, 34 and 34 gives us 82%. So 82% of 2 million. 2 million is 2 with 6 zeros. And that gives us 164, 1,640,000. And that is the answer. Or you can say 1.6 million people are have the height between 165 and 180. And with this, we have discussed most of the concepts about normal distribution, but there is one more thing left. And that is these percent values also represent the area under the curve. What do I mean by that? If the total area under the curve is 100%, if you find this area, it will be exactly 34% of the total area under the curve. Similarly, this area will be exactly 14% of the total area under the curve. Okay, you might notice that these two distances are the same. The distance between m and m plus d, and between m plus d and m plus 2d, these two lengths are the same. But here there is some additional area. Hence, this area should be greater than this area. Okay, this area should be greater. And if we were to exactly find out, this area will be exactly 34% of the total area. This area is 14% of the total area. Similarly, this area will be 2% of the total area under the curve. These percent values also represent the area under the curve. And with this, we have come to the conclusion of this video. And with this video, we also complete the chapter statistics. There were 8 videos in statistics. We have discussed a lot of concepts. We have discussed about mean, median, mode, range, standard deviation. Then we have discussed about percentiles, weighted average, quartiles, box plot, and we discussed normal distribution in this video. We have covered almost all the concepts that are required for the GRE. Now you just need to practice a lot of questions. Okay, only by watching the videos you cannot ensure a high score. You have to practice the questions as well. And I hope you enjoyed this series. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.